municipalities to job sites, the construction industry is changing at a pace never seen before. And the equipment that is powering and building these sites is also evolving at a rapid pace. Here with me today to talk a little bit more about this is Mike Popovich, president of Gradall Industries. We're here live at the ConExpo 2026 show in Las Vegas. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, glad to be here. Yeah, it's exciting.
How you feeling? We're a few days into the show. Busy time yet for you?
It's been a really busy couple of days. We've had a lot of activity in the booth. A lot of people looking at all the new equipment and things like that. Talking orders and a lot of stuff going in a very positive direction. So we're very excited.
That's great. How does that compare to the last ConExpo 3 years ago?
Well, 3 years ago, coming out of COVID, and it had a little bit different feel. It was a good show as well. I think ConExpo being every 3 years always is a good show, but I feel like this one there's a lot more new equipment, new technology, AI and autonomous stuff, and there's just a lot of new stuff kind of on the horizon coming at us. So not only are we looking at all the new technology that's coming at us that AI is driving, but we're all rolling out new equipment generally to respond to customer needs. So I think that's really important. And I think there is a lot of energy. And so far, our booth's been pretty crazy.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's always an exciting time and an exhausting time at the same time,
it is.
Right?
Yeah, they're long days, no doubt about it. They're very long days, but we like it. We look forward to it. So.
Okay, so Mike, let's talk a little bit about Gradall. For anyone who's listening today or watching us who maybe has heard the name before, but not familiar with the story that you have. You just celebrated 80 years, a really rich story. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the history of Gradall.
Well, I mean, 80 years ago or so, the Coop and Forwarda brothers, developed or designed the Gradall telescopic boom mainly in response to a lack of labor coming out of World War II. There just weren't as many people to do all the work that needed to be done around the country. And they solved that problem by inventing the Gradall, which was the first hydraulic excavator ever developed. And they took that patent that they developed as a result of that work and sold it to a company called Warner and Swasey. They moved the product into New Philadelphia, Ohio, where it's been built ever since. So, 80 years on, we're still around and we're still used by municipals and contractors all over the place. And it's been a really good story. What's
unique about Gradall? What sets you apart from the competition?
Well, I mean, obviously the telescopic boom is a big piece. We have a straight boom that, it's used in a lot of specialty applications. And that's really, why we're around even today. We're in like 4 or 5 different verticals that make us pretty specialized.
What are those specialized?
Rail, mining, steel mill maintenance, and then municipal, right away maintenance type work alongside the highway. We're getting a lot of road and bridge work, and construction, very highly municipal typically, so that's kind of our various channels that we sell into. And we do sell, into mining and steel mill around the world, so wherever there's a lot of big mills, there's Gradalls in there doing a lot of work in the mill, desculling and profiling and tap tool work and furnace maintenance and all that stuff. So, we're pretty diverse, which helps you survive.
Yeah, I was going to say, right? Because I'm sure there's times where some of them are ebbing and flowing, right? Doing better than other times.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's years when rail isn't doing great and municipal's doing fine. And there's periods of time when, the mining's doing good or steel mill's going great or vice versa. And you just lean into the parts of the industries that are doing well and do your best to ride out whatever's causing the slowdown elsewhere. So,
what are you seeing strong right now?
This year so far, the municipal business seems to be kind of picking up. Construction generally has been down the last year, and I think municipal, we're seeing an uptick in steel. The machines we sell into steel mills, so the mills must be busy. So I'd say those areas in particular are doing pretty well. Our mining is probably level. It's not going up. It's not going down. And I would say the last few years, rail's been a little slow.
Okay.
So you just kind of look at it and say, we're going to lean into the ones that are doing well and focus on those and just wait for the other ones to come back around, and we'll be ready when they do.
Tell us a little bit about your go-to-market approach. Are you working through dealers?
Yeah. So we're almost 100% distribution based. So we're a manufacturer and we have a great dealer network all over the country and the world for the steel mill and mining. And, we sell everything to them for the most part. There's some exceptions to that, but it's pretty rare. It's 99% distribution based. And we meet all our dealers here at ConExpo, and it's always nice when they come in and see us and they see the new equipment and we talk about it and we go through the sales approach and all that stuff. So yeah, that's typically how the business runs.
Okay. What are some of the attributes that you all bring to the table? When your customers, when the municipalities, when the rail operators, when they're using Gradall machines, what is that feedback that they give back to you?
Yeah. So the biggest part of our business is municipal maintenance. So if you look at that particular segment, we make a Gradall excavator mounted on a highway speed truck, right? And that's one of the new models we have here today, the XC4100, or at this show. And that particular machine, for example, will have a dedicated operator. It'll be owned by a county, a DOT, a city. It'll start in the same spot every day. It'll get dispatched to 6, 7, 8 jobs, and it'll come right back to the yard, get parked, and that guy will go home, and he'll come back and do it again. And it's a very efficient way to get work done. So if you're a municipality and you're being hit up from a lot of different directions or angles to get a lot of work done for the constituents, you've got to be flexible. You've got to be able to get around. You don't have time to load something on a trailer and chain it down and drive and then unchain it. And, you can't do that 8, 9 times a day. So the truck undercarriage is a big piece of the municipal market. So that is a significant advantage for us. And we're really the only one that does that. So that's a nice feature for us. And obviously the telescopic boom allows for us to do a lot of municipal type work, like ditching, like mowing, like cleanup work, helping out around, the municipality for, landscaping and, general earth moving tasks and things like that. So it's a bit of jack of all trades. Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit, Mike, about your process for developing new products, right? You obviously are very close to the customers. You know the customers. You know the operations that the environments that they're operating in. When you're looking at a new product, do you take all of that 80 years of experience that you have in working in this space and adapting it, or what does that look like?
Well, we do talk to the dealers and we talk to the customers, and we're not the biggest company in the world, so we're pretty close to everything. So I would say that we're responsive to what they need. So we develop special attachments, special options. There's special packages and configurations for our machines that are specific to the work or the customer being done. We have packages for some of the DOTs with all the special lights. We have packages for the steel mill machines that are steel mills that are real specific to steel mills that have a lot of heat protection, and they're dangerous places, so you have to have a lot of special stuff for that. Rail, we've got all kinds of safeguards and things like that make our machines rail gear ready. They just show up, go on the rail, and they're already FRA compliant, and they can go up and down the track without any work being done.
Yeah, a lot of peace of mind for those operators operating those machines, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about partnership.
Yeah.
We have been working together for a really long time, and it's been a fantastic partnership from our standpoint. Really appreciate all of the effort, all of the collaboration. But let's walk back a little bit. We didn't start right now. We've been working together for over a decade, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then some.
Yeah, I want to say we started working with you guys probably around 2013, 2014, because we rolled out the product in 2015.
Okay.
And these products just don't fall out in 1 month. You work on them for several years before, they actually come to market. So I think it was about 2013, 2014 when we really went through a deep dive on our engine requirements and, started talking to you guys and felt really comfortable, what you offer and your engines and your technology and all that stuff. And at the time it was Tier 4F and Tier 4I, and we were trying to put out the most reliable engine possible at the time, and we felt your solution was really good. And all that kind of came together, and starting in 2015, we started shipping Gradalls with Volvo Penta engines in them, and we are still doing it to this day. And the new model has it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So talk a little bit about how do we work together? I mean, everything when our engineering teams are really close to the sales side of the business. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'd say we're pretty highly integrated.
Yeah.
It's not something we just, issue a PO to you guys and engines just show up magically
Yeah.
or whatever. Generally speaking, I would say all the various disciplines or departments within our company and your company are pretty highly synced together from reports we generate in sales to how we quote the machines and spec the machines out to how engineering specs out new models and works with you guys to determine airflow and heating packages and warranty certifications and all that stuff. So throughout the whole organization, everyone's kind of got their contact person and we know who we got to call. And if something happens, we just make those phone calls and problem solve our way through it or start whatever project it is we're working on. And we kind of know the drill at this point, so it's pretty seamless, really. So.
What would you say when we think about a partnership like ours? What are, let's say, 3 things that really make that successful? What are the ingredients that you have to make sure a partnership is mutually beneficial?
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about this before, but a partnership isn't measured when times are good. A partnership is measured when things are tough. When something's happening, when the economy's tanking, when there's a technology issue or a quality issue or whatever else, that's how you measure a partnership. So when something's going on, you can pick up the phone and have an honest conversation and just work your way through whatever that issue is. And there has been issues, it's not perfection. Every partnership has their moments when you got to call and say, let's work through it. And I have to say, we wouldn't be sitting here today having this conversation if that wasn't successful to this point. And I think there's a high degree of trust, from our side that if we ever called you guys, you would respond. And that's very important. And I'd like to think you guys think the same.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, I mean, when we think back to the time frame we were talking about, right, 2013, 2014, Volvo Penta was really just getting started in the North American industrial market.
Yeah.
And you all put your trust in us to take a chance, right, to say, okay, we believe in this product, let's give us a try. And it's been fantastic for both of us for this past decade plus.
It has been great. I have nothing but good things to say. It's not something, I look back on and worry about or regret. It's all forward looking and, we don't hesitate at all. Like the new XC4100, there was never even a second thought as to what engine we were putting into that. And, it was the logical, natural choice for us. So it makes it easy, when you've got suppliers that you can count on and they're the right fit for what you're trying to do. And, for us, we want to keep everything very continuous. There's got to be a ebb and flow and some sense to what we're doing. And it's really important for us to have, that familial, continuation of how the product evolves so that you're not throwing products out there that no one knows how to support, so the dealers know how to support that engine. They're already trained. They can always do the warranty work, all that stuff. That's really important.
Yeah.
Throw something new at someone. There's a period while it takes a while for everyone to get used to it, to get trained up on it. There's a pretty significant learning curve involved with anything real new. And wherever you can use and lean into people that everyone's already comfortable with, it just makes that process easier.
And what are the engines that you're taking from us today in your portfolio?
So the 5 and 8 liter. Yeah. So we use the 5 and 8 liter stage 5 engines. I think we started out with the 4F 5 and 8 liter. And then we went with like a dual label solution where we were doing tier 4F and stage 5.